What's up, Pokemon trading card game fans? Welcome to episode 85 of the Special Conditions podcast, where our love for Pokemon and collecting collide. Special Conditions is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Tuttle, and I am joined by my new co-host, Ken Pescator. Well, not that new, but two episodes new.
New to you? New to the show?
New
Hi,
to the
everyone.
show.
What's up, Adam? How you doing?
Doing all right.
That's good, man. I'm happy about that. I got a nice cup of tea in
I've
front
got
of me,
a-
so
A nice iced coffee in front of me.
I've got some green tea of thermonuclear temperature, and yeah, I'm waiting for it to cool down.
So you'll be able to drink it by the end of the podcast.
Yeah. What's going on, man? How was your week?
Our week has been good. Not that I necessarily was like out looking for cards, but I did end up finding cards this week. I went to Walmart and found a Cramorant V-Box and an Eldegost V-Box at two different Walmarts. One was locked up and behind the game section, and then the other one was in the toy section, just kind of like thrown on the shelf. Like somebody was walking past and just threw it.
Right.
And I'm like, that's unusual.
So do you think the lack of sales from Target is going to make things easier to find at Walmart?
I'm not sure, because like I didn't even check the card section like normal, because I just assumed that they weren't stocking that section anymore.
That's the thrill of the hunt, dude. That's the fun part.
I
It's
understand that.
It's like it doesn't matter what time of the day I get to the store, right? I pull into Walmart at 3 p.m, but when I cross those doors and I get in there, I run like a little kid to the section, like, because I need to beat who's ever in the store at that very moment to the section, because there's people tracking the stuff down just like I am. So I have to run. So it's like, how do you not go to the section, dude? That's the whole process. That's
Well,
the fun
I was on
part.
a mission for certain stuff, so
Underwear, socks.
yeah, the essentials. And so then
Well, stumbling on cards is fun. That's always a good feeling.
and then I go into Barnes and Noble, and that was kind of like I was advised that they got a shipment. Turns out it was a ton of sports cards again. Not, exciting for me, but they did get one tin in, so I got essentially 3 boxes, of Shining Fate. So I've opened 2 of them so far, and nothing to really write home about.
Well, is this part of the reprint? Like, are these freshly printed cards?
I would think so, because at least the boxed ones, those are new. Those are like the Walmart exclusives, because they come with the
Okay.
jumbo card.
Right.
So I would say yes. And they did have lots of the Zacian and Zamazenta like Elite Trainer box that's like a special collection, so it's a little bit bigger than an Elite Trainer box, and they're $60 versus the 50 or 40, sorry. And I was just like, I don't really need that. I'll let somebody else get that. That's not, I don't need it, because they limit you to 2 items per SKU. So like essentially I could go in and get 2 of that SKU, 2 of another SKU.
Right.
Which is cool and all, but I only get what I need. I don't want to
need
be
air quotes on the need, but no.
right. After everything, it's just, I'm just happy to find something. You know?
Yeah. Now, my life has been a whirlwind over the past couple of weeks. I just sold my house. I'm kind of like transient right now. I'm living the mobile life, kinda. So it's like the last thing that I've been able to do is kind of go card hunting, but I do miss it. So I need to get my butt back to the store, but I gotta let life settle down over the next week or so.
For
because
sure.
it's been a little hectic. But what do we have cooking on today's show?
On today's show, we have, we'll talk about the team challenge, because I did participate in a team challenge tournament.
Fun.
During the week. We'll kind of go over the Players' Cup, or lack thereof. And then like the cards to go after before like IRL tournaments come into play. We're going to talk about staples, which we'll get there. But there's not a single one. It's just we're going to talk about a broad spectrum of cards to get. And then Card of the week this week is going to be Galarian Rapidash V, the new promo that just released a couple weeks ago. And then the art of the week is Kricketot.
Nice. And I also wanted to bring up the format thing and get started. I mentioned last week I wanted to kind of bring a different topic every week to the table to kind of reacclimate me to the competitive scene. And I guess there's no better place to start than just talking about formats, because that's really the catalyst to the getting your foot in the door with competitive, is understanding what cards you're allowed to use. So definitely wanted to dig into each of those. And I was actually enlightened because I guess I've been that far out of the loop for over a year or so out of TCGO from a true competitive sense, but there was a new format that I hadn't even heard of. So I was excited to do the research. So we'll talk about that in a bit, but tell me about the team challenge, man. How'd that go for you?
So the team challenge went really well. So the first round I got a bye, so it counts essentially as a win.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And then the second round I played against, because this was put together through the Pokedads Discord, through one of their local shops, Paper and Plastic. I lost against Pokedad Aaron. He was playing Boombox, which is Mewtwo Mew tag team with Rillaboom, and like Rowlet Executor GX. And essentially, either one of those can just evolve the Grookey all the way up into Rillaboom, and then they can attach 2 energies from their deck every single turn, and then just attack with whatever's in their discard.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so like one match, I was able to win, but then I lost. So it happened. Very well played games. And then round 3, I won versus a Victini VMAX welder box kind of thing with Rapidash V. And then round 4, I've won versus another Rillaboom box type thing, but it was with the Pokemon that we don't talk about its name on this podcast. I know you haven't been around for this, but basically it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but they made a VMAX version of this Yu-Gi-Oh card, which is still a mystery to me as to how they got away with making a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and then they made an additional Yu-Gi-Oh card out of it.
All right, well, can you backpedal a bit and explain to me what you mean by Yu-Gi-Oh card here? Like, what are you what are you talking about?
So effectively, it's an anchor, and there's...
Oh, you're talking about Dhelmise?
Yes.
Is it like Voldemort on the show? You're not allowed to say?
Yeah, and you already ruined it. You ruined it. Yeah, but long story short, for 1 grass energy, it does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each grass energy. So the idea is to throw Rillaboom down with Rowlet Executor, and you just evolve up into Rillaboom, and then you get as many energies on Dhelmise VMAX as you can. For 3, it does 240 to the active, but if you have a whole bunch, you can just snipe whatever you want and basically knock anything out if you have the right amount of energies on it. But I was able to win that.
That seems trolly, but that's good that you won.
Yeah, I believe at some point I was able to, because I had the Hoopa with Assault Gate, which says if it was on the bench and you switch it into the active, it does 90 damage for 1 dark energy. Turn 1, I was able to, on a lone Rillaboom, or Grookey, the Grookey. So they went first, they got nothing. My turn, I played down, I had Yveltal in the active, so that has free retreat. So I just quick-balled for the Hoopa, free retreat, attach an energy, and did 90 for the win, because I donked them.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, so I won. So I am now going to be part of another team challenge. I am so excited. I didn't do so hot in the last one, but I had a lot of fun, and it was a really cool feeling being part of a team, and like we all could talk to each other, and we were all discussing our games and how they were going while they were going. It was a lot of fun.
So this is kind of like an organized format. Like what exactly is the team challenge? Like I know this was hosted by a local game shop, but what exactly is the team challenge itself?
So the team challenge is Basically, there's 4 individual tournaments to crown essentially 4 winners, and those winners go on to form a team, and that team represents the store, and then that team basically gets put into a tournament bracket. So instead of like each individual person going into all these tournaments, it's actually in fact a team that goes in. You pick 3 out of your 4 teammates to actually battle, and you don't tell anybody until like you get into the tournament. So it's kind of like
fun.
So it's kind of like you could have 3 Eternatus players and like 1 Pikarom, and your opponent has like 3 water decks and like a fire deck, and you're like, ooh, which one should I play? And
right. No, that's really cool. And this was the first step in that process.
Yes.
All right. Yep. Cool.
And that's kind of where we're at now. So I'm excited. I can't wait to do this again. Because I did do it a while ago when they did that one. It was a couple months ago, but it was a lot of fun. Nice. I did it. Well, we did end up getting a bye for one of the rounds because they had so many teams that like just like, because it's like a bracket that's already kind of made, and then they already had teams that didn't like fill out everything, and so like there was just a lot of holes in the bracket, so a lot of teams got a bye. And if you did get that bye, like now you get prizes, and you got a prize. So I got a playmat for the first one.
All right, cool.
Just waiting for it to get shipped to me. But yeah, so I'm super excited. It's a lot of fun.
That sounds fun. Yeah, that sounds a lot of fun.
But moving on, speaking of online and TCGO, Players Cup happened.
What is going on with Players Cup? Because I remember, like, I see this like go from being all the rage to kind of not. Like the ebb and flow of this seems to be like very volatile. Like sometimes people are hot on it, sometimes people are cold on it. So what's the
so
scoop
I think
here?
it just the turnaround. It just happens so fast. Like the other one wasn't even completed in like the scheme of things before this one was like starting. It just hit too fast. It was like, slow down, like give us a week or two, like in between the Players Cup 3 and the 4. It's kind of like if tomorrow they announce, they're like, yeah, Players Cup 5 starting tomorrow.
Yeah. We're still playing 4.
Right. And that's how it felt. And I did very well, and I put all my time and all my effort into the Players Cup 3. I made 256. I was hyped, and then this one was just kind of like, it just happened so fast, and I was like, I'm not ready for that. Like, I like, there was just too much stuff in my life going on, so it was just not a good time.
Well, yeah, you would have to almost like cram, right? Like really dedicate a lot of time, or play very consistently over the window of matches, right? Like that's a lot is it 50 matches you have to do?
Potentially more than that, because there's a top that you start with top 8, and then you go to the top 4, and then you go to the top 2. So you could essentially have to play 150 games if you won all of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's pretty intense, and it's not easy. It's very like time consuming, especially if you're winning, and it's very like tolling on your body. Like, yeah, you're sitting there, but like you have to take a break, you have to eat, you have to take care of yourself, like go outside and then come back refreshed. Like you can't
this is some first world problems here.
You just can't
my digital card game is killing me.
Well, you just can't sit there and just keep playing and playing and playing, like, because that's what I did. Like when we got off the podcast the last time when we talked about the Players Cup, I was like, it ends tomorrow morning, I can't stop playing, I must go. And it was like 1:30 in the morning. I was like, I was like, I'm done. Like I've gotten about 4 or 5 points so far out of like 10 keys. I was like, no way, I'm done. And I was like, and I just gave up at that point. I was like, there's no way. I was like, well, maybe if I wake up early enough before work, and it just didn't pan out.
Yeah, about that.
About that.
Well, where are they at with the actual competition right now? Though are there the windows is done like the
Yeah,
to
yeah.
play
Players
matches
Cup
or?
for like the top 256 have already been named, and they're working through that now.
Okay,
That's
cool.
I believe that starts, or it has started. I don't know. I just know that it's in process.
Nice. Okay.
Now, we're going to talk about, instead of the TCG player pickup, it's kind of like the TCG player pickups. These are cards you're going to want to have 4 copies of in your deck, or 4 copies just to have. They're all trainer cards, but these are just going to help you build a consistent and competitive deck. And these are all the cards that you're going to want. And a lot of them are easy to extremely easy to find. And you'll see what I'm saying in a second. And they're all like consistency, switch cards, draw cards, or very important supporters. So we've got Quick Ball, which allows you to search your deck, discard a card, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, and put it into your hand. Super key. You're going to need that for Crobat V. You're going to need that for any basics. Scoop Up Net allows you to reuse your Jirachi Amazing Rare, allow you to use anything that comes out into the active. If something gets stuck, you're able to pull it back to your hand. Air Balloon, it's a tool card. When attached, your Pokemon gets -2 retreat cost. This is going to be huge. A lot of the V basic Pokemon have 2 retreat cost.
Oh, nice.
You've got Boss's Orders, super familiar card. Pull out one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, switch it with the active. That's a key card in almost every deck. If you're not playing this card, you're doing something wrong. Then you've got Marnie. Both players shuffle their hands, or shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of the deck. You draw 5, your opponent draws 4. Consistent, disruptive, awesome.
Annoying. For the other player.
Yeah, annoying for sure.
Opponent.
Then we've got Level Ball, which was newly added in Battle Styles. Allows you to search your deck for any Pokemon with 90 hit points or less. This is awesome for a lot of Stage 1 decks. It allows you to go get Minccino, Cinccino. When you evolve it, you can discard a card, draw 2. Switch, again, a staple card, because people try to leave you in the active, and this will get you out of there.
Yep.
Professor's Research, best draw supporter in the game. Discard your hand, draw 7. Super basic, but it's necessary. And then you've got Great Ball. Look at the top 7. Pick a Pokemon, shuffle the rest back into your deck. Now, I would consider those all staples. Those are all cards you're going to want in your deck in some form of capacity, whether it be 2, 3, 4. But you're going to want 4 copies just so you have that ability to make any deck you essentially need to. And these are cards right here to keep a few of. So like these can be tech cards, but definitely one-ofs in a lot of scenarios, and some of them 2 or more. Tool Scrapper, with a lot of tools being played, like Air Balloon, Cape of Toughness, the Zacian Sword, Zamazenta Shield. You're going to want Tool Scrapper. Experience Share. This is going to allow you to be consistent. So Eternatus attacks. You're already hurt for energy in general, but if you play Experience Share, they knock out one of your Eternatus. You've got another one in the waiting, because one of the energies attached to the active gets shifted to the bench one.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Ordinary Rod, it's just a consistency card. This allows you to shuffle your basic energies and your basic Pokemon back into your deck, or your Pokemon. But you get to choose up to 2 of each. And then you've got Escape Rope. I consider this a 5th switch and a 5th Boss's Orders, because if played and timed correctly, this can get you to win the game. Because some people like to leave up single prize attackers, But if they have 2 Pokemon on the bench that have 2 prize cards, like 2 V cards, and you play this card, and you're able to bring out, your Eternatus VMAX, and then just one-shot either of those, you're going to win the game, versus them thinking that they could win because
they got their one prizer in the active.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh, they have all 4 of their bosses in the discard. And you're like, no way. Here's an escape rope. It's just a lot of fun. I love this card, nice. And I will always love this card. I've been playing this card.
Sneaky.
Yeah, I've been playing this card since it was Warp Point back in the day. That's how long I've been playing.
Nice.
Cape of Toughness is a big one. Basic Pokemon that this card is attached to. That's not a Pokemon GX. Gets 50 extra hit points.
Ooh.
That's insane. So at least, keep 1 or 2 of those. And then Evolutionary Incense allows you to just search your deck for an evolution card. That's a VMAX. That's anything really that evolves. So and there's no drawback. It's just you get to search for an evolution card. End of story.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, obviously the staples, but specifically these like little tools, like I've seen plenty of the Tool Scrapper. Ordinary Rod is like, I see that a lot. Like I see that a ton. Escape Rope I see a ton of. But I mean, all this makes a lot of sense. And like these cards, they're not pricey cards. Like you could just jump on TCG Player and get these for cheap, right? Like,
yeah, honestly, I think if I did the math, I think the most expensive one was like Scoop Up Net at the moment. Everything else is like around under 50 cents.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. No, this is good stuff because like, we were on our patron Zoom call yesterday. We were talking about, how a lot of these staple cards, it pays to just have multiple copies of them. So you don't have to worry about like, all right, these are sleeved up and associated with this deck, but I need my 4 scoop ups, so I got to take them out of this deck and put them in these sleeves and run them in this deck. And
that's the worst feeling.
It's just like, just get a bunch and then just put 4 in that deck, put 4 in this deck, and call it a day.
Yeah, I'm sure you could get multiple sets of these for under $30.
Yeah, that's awesome
for sure. And it's like at that point it becomes the trainer's toolkit. Only. Yeah. All the cards that I mentioned are Sword and Shield on. So even when rotation happens in August, all these cards will be available and usable. So that's why they were mentioned, and that's
nice.
how I picked them, because those are going to be usable for like the next season. So all of them stay in format.
All right, well, definitely check out our website. Just go to specialconditionstcg.com. Check out the blog, because I'll put a blog post up containing links to all of these cards on TCG Player. It'll be through our affiliate link, so if you do pick them up, even though they're only like, 50 cents, whatever it may be, it does help out the show. So definitely check that out, specialconditionstcg.com, and look at the blog. I'll put links to all the cards with images and everything.
Excellent. All right, Ken, do you think that's been enough information?
Well, that was a lot of cards. When I was, because I would always listen to the show as a fan, right? And it really is a lot of information, especially when you get into like the nitty gritty and the text of cards. So yeah, that was definitely a lot of information because we just ran through a whole bunch of cards, So yeah, I think we're ready for a little breaky break, and then we can come back and keep the momentum going.
All right, trainers, hang tight. We'll be right back.
And we're back from our break. Thank you so much for that. Adam, are you feeling refreshed?
I am. I took a big sip of my coffee, and the caffeine is in my bloodstream.
All right, awesome. Well, we got a little bit of housekeeping to get through before the back half of the show. Just remember, this podcast is powered by Patreon, and you can check ours out over at patreon.com/Pokemon Professor, where you can support this show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. And now all patrons are eligible to participate in our monthly Pokemon Go and TCGO prize tournaments. Registration's in the Discord. We hope to see you there. Also, huge thanks to our gym leaders, Absolutely Ryan, Dig Dug Rob, Grant, Jamal, JD Mojo Jojo, Magikarp Diem, Paul, Sharkfin, Talon, and TN Comics Wiz. And of course, tons of love and special thanks to our executive producer, Tish Smith. Thank you all so much for your support. We really do appreciate it. And if Patreon isn't your thing, don't worry. There's still a couple other ways you could help us out. If you're listening on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And if you're listening via a podcast service like Apple Podcasts, you can take a moment to leave us a review. Oh, and don't forget our merch store is up, PokemonProfessor.com/merch. All right, Adam, what else we got going?
All right, we're going into our card of the week. This week, we're going to talk about Galarian Rapidash V. So this V card is exclusive to a special promo box right now. It will be available in Chilling Reign when that comes out as a full art and an alternate
full art is so good.
I know, there's an alternate art too that's absolutely stunning. So Galarian Rapidash V is a 210 Psychic basic Pokemon for 2 colorless energies, this is really the star of the show. It has Libra Horn. It says put damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon until the remaining hit points is 100.
So this could be even a 280 hit point Pokemon. It's like essentially doing 180 damage.
Exactly. If you have an
Nice.
Eternatus, you are doing 240 damage to it for a welder and attach 2 fires. And then you can still attach to something on the bench. Because this is what I got faced against. And I was like, are you serious right now?
That's wild.
And like nobody's really using it for its second attack, which is Psychic. It's 2 Psychic energies. It does 60 plus. It says this attack does 30 more damage for each energy card attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So the likelihood of them having 2 energies is pretty high. So you're doing basically 120 for 2 energies, or 240 for 2 energies. So
that's sick.
Yeah,
and it looks so pretty. You don't expect it.
No, and it's one of those things where usually in these promo boxes, like you don't get anything like that good. As far as something like this goes, it was like a breath of fresh air when the hype train was. I mean, the hype train is still there for this card right now. Everybody's excited for this card. I know several other podcasts are talking about My Little Pony, and
they need to get off that, yo. Leave the My Little Ponies alone.
Or they're saying like My Tiny Pony, but like it's just one of those things where it's like there's so much love for it right now, and it really warms my heart. I'm a huge fan of Galarian Ponyta and Rapidash.
Dude, that Chilling Reign full art looks so good.
Right?
Oh my god, so good.
But essentially, it's got a ×2 weakness to Dark. It's got a -30 resistance to fighting, and it's got a 1 retreat cost. So this thing is pretty versatile. It just can't handle Dark.
At all.
At all. But it's funny because even the Dark Pokemon, like, so you've got Crobat, you're doing 70 damage, so it's 140 plus it's poisoned. So it's only 150, so it doesn't one-shot it. You've got Hoopa, if you can get it in the active after switching, and do 90. That's going to do 180. Still doesn't knock it out. You've got Eternatus V. You're going to hit for 30, which is really 60. And that doesn't knock it out. And then you've got even the Yveltal. For 2 energies, it does 60, so you're doing 120.
Wow.
Essentially, you can only knock this out with Eternatus VMAX.
That's a nice pony.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got. But basically, you can just attach a bunch of energies with Welder and get this to hit off like almost turn 1, or on turn 1. It's pretty brutal.
Nice.
Art of the week this week is going to be Kricketot, the cricket Pokemon. Who'da thunk? So we've got the first one It's coming from Mysterious Treasures.
He looks cute there.
Yeah. It's got a Call for Family attack.
There you go.
So this is, and the back in the day, they used to do like little like levels on there. So this would
Yeah, I
be like
remember
Cricket
that.
level 9. But yeah, this one, it's kind of like looking up through some bushes, and the sun's like peering through, and it's looking up. It's kind of like majestic, like it just woke up. It's looking up into the sun and being like, "Ah, yes, it's a nice day outside."
Is that what he's saying?
Or he's just crying and he's like, "Where's my mama?"
I'm gonna go with "It's a nice day outside."
Yeah. The next one is from Triumphant, Heart Gold Soul Silver.
I like this one.
This is so weird. It's so goofy, but it's so good. The details in like the wood grain that it's standing on, it's almost like it's on a bridge or something, and there's water underneath it. But then there's either the wave is splashing next to it, or
No, I don't know. I see that as like a cherry blossom. Or something.
See, that's I was gonna say that's the other. It's either that. I don't know. It's such like an awkward picture.
It's awesome,
but it's so cool. It's got a unique art style to it. And then the next one, and this is the winner takes all.
I agree.
It is a bug type in a rain and thunderstorm, so it's weather boosted.
There you go.
No, so you see like a lightning strike in the back. It's standing on the edge of a cliff, and it's just soaking in all the rain, and it's absolutely loving it.
It looks good.
It's
it looks
all
so
dark
proud.
and dreary. Yeah, but it's so excited to be like standing there in front of the.
I can hear like very triumphant music playing in the background, looking at this card. Like,
well, it's making its little cricket tot noise.
There you go. Cello.
All right, Ken, you ready for the next?
I'm ready
for next week's Pokemon. It is
Yes,
going
sir.
to be Oddish.
Oddish. Oh, yes, I am a huge fan of Oddish. Yes. Oh, I'm excited. I am excited. All right, good deal. All right, I got a topic for us, Adam.
Ooh, you've got a topic?
So this topic is going to be about formats. I think that this would probably be the the most important baseline thing to kind of talk about, especially for someone like me that wants to get back into competitive, and I just want to be sure that my foundational information is correct. And I think each of these formats are important to at least know about, because they're all going to also have different levels of accessibility. And I kind of want to talk about that, their accessibility, how rotation works. But there's 4 different formats we'll talk about: theme, standard, expanded, actually 5: theme, standard, expanded, legacy, and unlimited. Now, first we could talk about the one which is the most accessible by far in the TCG, and that's going to be the theme decks. And now that's the theme format. Theme deck is what? $12.99, $13.99 at the store. You get an eligible 60-card deck. You get a corresponding TCGO code to get the deck in TCGO. And usually for each expansion, you're going to get like 2, sometimes 3 theme decks that come out for that. And they're straight off the shelf, ready to go. You don't make any modifications to them, and that's what keeps things consistent. And usually they're focused on a specific Pokemon or a basic mechanic at large, and the decks can't be modified. So it like provides this nice even playing field for participants. And I would think that if you're considering getting into the TCG, this is the best way to do it, to give it a shot with the least amount of monetary investment needed. If you got $13-14, you hit up the store, pick one of these up, you're in business. You could play a physical card game, you could play a digital card game. But the interesting thing for me, Adam, is from your perspective, with being an advanced player, what's it like playing in the theme deck format? Is there any fun to that for you?
There is, when I'm playing with other players that are playing the theme decks. Because it's not about who wins, it's more like who can draw better, essentially. And it's,
well, sometimes it's like I've got caught out on theme decks where it's like I'm 12 turns in and I still don't have an energy. It's like what?
or I'm 12 turns in and I've only drawn energy and I have
Yes.
2 basic Pokemon. That's
No
it.
Pokemon.
And I'm like, I'll use Whirlwind for 10.
Yeah.
I'll use Whirlwind.
I'll use Bite for 10.
Meanwhile, you're evolving and getting all set up, and I'm like, oh, by the time I actually get stuff, it's too late.
But I do recommend the format. I think everyone should at least check it out if you're someone who is interested in getting into actually playing the games. Just take your collecting, kind of spice it up a little bit and want to give it a shot. This is by far the best way to do it. Just pick up a theme deck.
Yeah, it's very limiting as a competitive player because there's only so much you can do. But as far as a new player, it's extremely straightforward. There's not much you can do, but you can't like almost misplay. It's like you have to.
The fun
energy.
is in the limitation because
yes.
it makes it accessible. That's the most important thing. You don't have to be, you don't have to know all the text. You don't have to know all these crazy mechanics and these fancy machines. It's just
it's pretty basic. There's no
pick it up and play.
There's no like the Libra Horn attack where you have to place this many damage counters and do this and it's just bite for 10, crunch for 30. End of story.
Nice. All right, next we're going to look at standard format, which is the first of the 2 formats that are used in official Play Pokemon competition. And standard is arguably the most popular competitive format. It contains the latest cards, so it uses current sets. So you're going to see the latest strategies, the latest builds, the latest meta, and it rotates every year. For example, the current 2021 season standard format includes cards released from Sun and Moon Team Up forward. And Adam, you're already kind of like hinting towards the next rotation that's happening in August. What do you think is going to be rotated out of standard come this summer?
All of the Team Up, Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds, and there's another one. But all of those ones, anything that has the GX mechanic will get pushed away, and we're just going to go into Sword and Shield on.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And man, there's a lot of good GX cards that are still being used. So
to this day,
that's going to be an interesting one for sure.
Reshiram Charizard still being used to this day.
For sure. But this format is it's accessible because it uses the current cards, but being competitive in this format is tough because like the deck building process can be exceptionally in depth and exceptionally expensive because you're using current cards, high demand cards, high competitive cards. There could be decks that could cost, if you were to buy the cards a la carte, you could be, $200 plus on a deck. It's just, you want 4 copies of this card? All right, they're $25 each. It's like, whoa. So be ready to work around that because it could be an expensive process. But there's usually some like oddball expansion cards and stuff that are included in the format. There's usually a range of promo cards. We'll detail it in the description. We'll put a link to the current meta. But remember, it is going to be rotating in August. But Adam, what's your best piece of advice for someone interested in breaking into the standard format?
Right now is a really, really, really good time because they just released a level 2 deck, which is an advanced version. Basically, it's an already competitive 60-card deck that you could just jump into standard. And it's a pretty straightforward deck, but it's got a main goal and a strategy to it versus just having a same type. Like, oh, I have a Charizard, I need to get the Charizard out. This is, I have, it's an Inteleon deck. So it has the Inteleons, it has the Frostmoth to attach a bunch of water energies to your Inteleons and attack. It's really good. It's just one of those, like, it's a complete deck. And I've already heard of a lot of success stories from people just taking that PTCGO code from the deck, scanning it in, and playing some games on the ladder, which is all standard format, and just having success and just winning a ton of games straight in a row.
Yeah. And competitive-wise, I mean, like, Players' Cup runs in standard. most local game shop stuff runs in standard. I'd imagine that pretty much if you want to play competitive and like play in the ranked circuit and keep track of, all your stuff and be competitive, standard is pretty much the way to go, right?
Right. 100%.
Okay. And what's like the most popular stuff in standard right now? Is it the Eternatus and
Eternatus, Charizard, like Firebox type thing with Center Scorch mix. You've got the new Rapidash, Galarian Rapidash V. You can still use Charizard, just with Welder and Cramorant. There's that. Then there's still Pikarom. There's still Eternatus. There's Inteleon still big. You've got a lot of ATP still. For some reason, that deck just doesn't die. There's like straight Zacian builds right now. You still got Lucario Melmetal and Zamazenta.
Oh my god, there's so many decks. I guess you could look at the power rankings, right?
Yes. Yep.
For TCG to see what's the most popular, but it's I've always been a little bit intimidated by this format because with physical decks, it was just so hard for me to put something together because I didn't have the resources like I do now, having this, amazing community and all that to get cards. But I think now more than ever, it's more accessible, especially like you were saying with stuff on the shelves now with ready to go standard format. Typically, that's something you only see with theme decks. Now you could buy a ready to go competitive, standard deck.
Yeah, I plan on. I mean, I have all the cards in TCGO, so I don't necessarily need it, but I definitely do want to buy one just to have for the Inteleon deck, just because it's such a cool moment. In the TCG
let me get that
history.
card, yo.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I'll send you the TCGO code, so it's like then you have a deck
Perfect.
all ready to go.
All right, next up we have the second play Pokemon format, and that's expanded. And this format includes like a much larger pool of cards to select from than standard, making the Pokemon themselves, the mechanics, and the themes much more diverse than what you're going to see in typical standard play. For example, expanded includes the current expansions, just like standard does, but it also allows cards going all the way back to black and white expansions from like 2011. So I have literally zero experience playing in expanded. I don't know where you're at with this, if you've ever given it a shot, but I've never played in expanded.
I've played in expanded all of like 2 times, and it's usually like I've played in like a regionals or whatever, and then like they'd have like a league battle or league cup or something like that, like right afterwards, or like I don't know what they called them back then, but they'd have some smaller tournament that wasn't worth as many points right after, and sometimes they'd be expanded, and I'm like, well, I can put in an A-Spec to my standard deck and see what's going on there. And the A-Specs,
that's what I mean. Like you could pretty much just drop a standard deck in, right?
Yeah, you still could. It's just there's a lot of overpowered cards that interact a little bit differently.
There's some OP card from 2013 that you forgot about that can like break your whole deck.
Well, yeah, just like Mad Party, there's a deck called Lost March, and there's a trainer called Battle Compressor. Search your deck for 3 cards, discard those 3 cards. There's also an item card called Verse Seeker. Search your discard pile for a supporter card and put it into your hand. Oh, I want any supporter. I just discard it with Battle Compressor, grab it with Verse Seeker, and then use it that same turn. And then grab more Battle Compressors and get all these things in the discard, and then attach a double colorless, attach a twin energy. So then you've got 8 double colorless energies essentially. Oh, just thinking about it, my head is going to explode.
Nice. All right, next up we have Legacy, the Legacy format, and this is, in my opinion, is probably the most niche of them all. This is touted as like a TCGO exclusive format, but it is, you obviously you could play this IRL if you wanted to, just sidebar or whatever, but it only contains cards from the Heart Gold, Soul Silver era and Black and White era. Through the Black and White era. So I don't really know the motivation behind putting this together. I guess there was some kind of demand, but it's a current selectable format on TCGO, and the rankings are tracked on Pokemon.com through Trainer Club. So I don't know who's playing this, but like, have you tried this?
No, but I would think that it's mostly anybody that wants to do like old worlds formats.
Okay.
You know, and just they
All
have
right.
access to those cards essentially.
Okay. That makes sense. It's just weird that it's just a couple years worth of card. I think it's something like 16 expansions or something like that for the format.
Well, yeah,
so.
in Heart Gold Soul Silver, that's when they first gave out like the codes. That's when the codes started getting inserted into the packs. Yeah.
Now it's making more sense. Now it's making more sense when they're saying, all right, this is kind of a TCGO thing. Well, that makes sense. Why? Okay. I feel better now. And then finally, we have Unlimited, which has the least amount of restrictions, and it pretty much allows any card ever released to be used. And I'd imagine that playing in Unlimited is bonkers, like completely nuts. But
yeah, this is something I wouldn't want to think about at all.
But like, I can imagine being like a 10 or 11-year-old kid having a giant, library of digital cards or even physical cards and just being like, all right, I want to use these. You know what I mean? Like, I could see kids really loving this because they're like, I really like this, Victory Bell from this old set. I want to use it. It's like, all right, play in Unlimited.
And then they're playing against somebody that's like, oh, I'm never losing a match ever. And they're like, I'm going to trainer lock you. I'm going to make it so you can't draw any energies. You're just going to not draw cards.
I know. But I've again, for me, standard format is where I'm going to be spending 99.9% of my time. So, I don't know. I don't see myself being anywhere else, but what about you? Are you pretty much always in standard?
Always in standard, yeah. Even when they did like smaller tournaments and they would be like, oh yeah, there's prizes on the line and whatnot, and like I just never went to those events. Like it just wasn't it wasn't for me.
All right, well, Adam, that was some good info. I just want to start at the beginning. I think in talking formats is probably the best place to start. And then maybe next week we start to talk about a couple different mechanics or something like that. But now I hope people have a little bit of better understanding of the different formats that are out there. And I think that going forward, we'll probably focus competitively on standard since that's the most recognized by Play Pokemon. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Let's get into our TN Comics opening.
Yes. What's up, everyone? This is Ken from the Pokemon Professor Network, and this booster opening is brought to you by TN Comics. TNComics.com is our go-to site when we need Pokemon TCG products, and if you use code FULLHEAL at checkout, you can get an additional 5% off your purchase. That's FULLHEAL, one word, FULLHEAL, at checkout for an additional 5% off your total purchase at TNComics.com.
All right, Ken. You currently don't have anything.
I don't.
Because that's in the process of being worked out. I have 2 Shining Fates on me. So
well, that works.
So let's pull something shiny, shall we? Or at least I hope so.
Please do.
Oh, it's a white code card. No, they all are. Code card is NVXNK7R KY4 ZK4. Good luck.
Nice.
All right. I've got a Fire Energy, Gym Trainer, Thwackey, a Floatzel, Morpeko, Buizel, Nickit, Cacnea, Qfont, Reverse Hollow is a Rusted Shield, and a rare Volcanion. Womp, womp.
All right. We got gold coming from the next one. I could tell.
Oh, gosh. If we got gold, that'd be an Eternatus V or VMAX. All right. N9D H6GC 2GG BKR. Good luck, trainers. Let us know what you get. Psychic Energy, Ball Guy, Tropius, a Roosted Shield, a Coughing, a Shinx, a Grookey, Trapinch, Yanma, Reverse Hollow Luxio, and a Full Art Birdkeeper.
All right.
Woo!
Yeah. All right. Sweet. All right. Well,
Wow.
do you feel good now?
I feel a lot
Full
better.
arts are good. Full arts are good.
Full arts are good. Full arts are great.
All right. Awesome. All right. Good. I feel good now. I'm glad I didn't have a pack so that way you could open that one on the show. Otherwise, it would have just been the first one.
Oh, man. And then you probably would have just pulled some normal rare, too.
Yes. Suspicious food tin.
Oh, God. No,
Secret
that's from
rare.
Champion's Path. All right. Ken, is that all? You got anything else you want to throw in there?
No, I think that's a good amount of info. I think I need to really start to prepare to get ahead of this curve for the next rotation. I think that's what I kind of have to set my sights. So we're going to have to start talking about some decks that I could build here in the upcoming episodes. Cause I really do want to just jump headfirst into the mix again. So I don't want to waste that. I don't want to waste time.
I think the ball juggling, because I haven't built that, but I think that would be at least something that's fun, it's accessible, and it doesn't seem too expensive to build. I think that would be a hilarious and totally Ken type deck. Because
all right,
on Lured Up, we always talk about your restocking of your balls.
Yes, I did that today.
Yeah, and it's just really funny, and it's like, it just, and then there's Ball Guy for the supporter, and there's, level balls, Pokeballs, great balls.
All right, I'm in on the balls. I'm in for the juggling. Definitely. All right,
for sure.
We'll discuss in detail. But no, dude, I think that's all for today.
Trainers, if you want to email us, please do. info@specialconditionstcg.com. You can leave us a voicemail, text us, send us a picture, 732-835-8639. And remember, if you're affected by a special condition, don't forget to use a full heal.